All right, welcome everyone to a very first Star Trek Discovery look back. We're looking back at Star Trek Discovery since we've seen the first 9 episodes, and we're going to give it a discussion. I'm David Duncan, and with me is Jen Bum, the Klingon pop warrior.
Hello.
So, going back, we've rewatched episodes 1, the Vulcan Hello. Did you glean anything new from seeing it after completing the first chapter?
There were definitely some things that I really that people had commented on later, like about Saru and Burnham's relationship, and right from the get go, they have a really almost antagonistic relationship. They are you, they butt heads almost all the time, and so I noticed that, and once again I was blown away and so thrilled and impressed by the Klingon language in this show. I can't, I really can't even begin to describe to people who aren't part of the language community how amazing it is to hear just such incredibly accurate Klingon Chol being spoken on one of the Star Trek series. Because, frankly, up to this point, the TV show language has been really not that great. And it's just been really, really, really exciting to hear and see and be able to understand. Like, to understand what they're saying is really awesome.
And I read a little bit of the Klingon dictionary to the point where I understood that Trang Nang Pool, Tela Nang Pool. I'm like, they're talking about aliens.
Yeah. The names become. I love that Klingon Mach Tachjaj. Klingon Mach has been sort of a rallying cry, regardless. It just means we are Klingon, and so to add that sort of Tachjaj on there, which Tachjaj it means sort of like may we continue, or may it continue. So it translates back to remain Klingon, or we will remain Klingon, and but that Klingon mach tach. I just love that, like, the Empire is going to continue and we are going to continue. It's a great phrase, and the language work that Robin Stewart did is just awesome. It's so fun to listen to.
And speaking of the Klingons in this, are they worried that from the Klingon augment virus, or are they just not wanting to conform to the Federation? Because they have this crazy, like, extreme racist type mentality where it's like when they say we come in peace, it's like the biggest lie ever. And I don't understand, other than it being they're worried about the Klingon augment virus from back in Enterprise, or if they are worried about losing their identity by becoming part of the Federation.
Yeah, I don't feel like from this episode we really have any big motivation from episode 1. And honestly, I don't necessarily feel like in these first 9 episodes we even have fully understood the motivation. I mean, what we do kind of glean that the houses themselves in the Empire have been fractured. So we have the 24 Klingon houses, and we know that those houses have been fractured. And so T'Kuvma is just, at this point, I feel like it's just trying to, like, bring the Empire together around a cause. And I feel like he found his cause in, this, being on the edge of space and feeling like these humans are trying to kind of push into their territory. So yeah, I guess I don't really know, and I'm so bad about speculating too hard because I hate being super wrong.
That's our job to speculate.
I know.
So, like, with the Klingons, I don't know what's going on. Like, they promised all this Klingon stuff, and I saw someone do a breakdown, and I think in 9 episodes we've only had like 30 minutes tops of just Klingon stuff in this breakdown I saw. And I just, like, where's all the Klingon stuff? I mean, we've had episodes where we don't even see Klingons.
Right.
The magic to make the sanest man go mad. No Klingons. I guess not choose your pain. That's tons of
Why
Klingons.
did you
No,
win?
episode 3. Context is for kings. The shushing Klingon doesn't count. He doesn't
which
talk.
which my friend Robin has said. She goes, "Oh, that's so." She's decided that is a Klingon who is familiar with Federation stuff and like and Earth sort of Earth things because a Klingon would never shh. That's actually a letter in the Klingon alphabet. The sh sound. So
He's saying mother, he's saying shosh, shosh. He's calling for his mother because the tardigrade's gonna get him. Although
we're
we're
jumping ahead.
jumping
Yeah.
ahead with the tardigrade thing, but we don't know that the Klingon did anything to the
Yeah.
tardigrade. So they totally changed the nature of the tardigrade between episode 3 and between episode 4, where like it's like a monster that's gonna attack
Oh
anything.
man, you're gonna have to cut this out. This
To
isn't first episode stuff.
I know. I know, but like just in context, we're talking about the whole context. We can get back to the first episode, but that's what we're talking about Klingons in general, and I don't know what their motivations are. Like, I don't know why they're bald. The Neville Page and Glenn Hetrick before the show came out were talking about, oh, there's going to be all this new lore about Klingons and how their ridges, give them this extrasensory, better warrior,
We have
edge. And we haven't talked anything about Klingon
right.
biology
Yeah. We're
at
not.
all.
We're definitely not there yet. I mean, it's very political. I feel like what we're seeing at this point is really political, which is funny because on one hand, Klingons really hate politics, but but
Almost as much as they hate
yeah.
accountants.
so so it's kind of funny. Like I just I especially with this first episode, you really don't know what's going on except that the Klingons are saying we just want to be left alone. I really feel like that's kind of when they're even when they're saying we come in peace, they're just like we just want to be left alone to do what we're gonna do. But I mean, as we know, Klingons like to go out and conquer. So I don't, I don't know. I don't know that a Klingon has ever fully, ever come to anything in peace.
No, but they did just sit there for like an entire episode and didn't do
That's
a
true.
thing, which is really surprising from for Klingon, just kind of hanging
Although
out.
I guess in that contest text, we know that it was sort of like a ship of the dead. Do we know that at this point? I mean, it's we do. It's a burial essentially. What they're doing in this first episode, they're sending a brother off to the Black Fleet.
When the first torchbearer dies, they put him and they show you see how the sarcophagus is on the
Right.
ship. As much space stuff as they keep showing in this show, everything is just so dark. I really wish I could see things. And I know, yes, space is dark, but I don't. I like my shows dark in tone, but I don't want to. I want to be able to see
I
stuff.
like
And I still feel like we haven't seen the Klingon
I
ships
like the
very
fact
well.
that the Klingon ship though feels brighter to me. The Klingon bridge feels brighter than the bridge on Discovery.
It is. There's lots of open flames.
Lots of all the open flames in space. That just Klingons. Oh, Klingons.
Well, I mean, like Worf, whenever he was like having his emotional, religious breakdown, he was sitting there in his quarters with
It's
fire
true.
going. The Klingons love their
It's a very
fire,
cleansing thing.
and yes, and Vok just sticks his hand in a whole bunch of
Right.
fire,
Yeah. Yeah,
cleansing his already white
that's
self.
crazy. I love that scene
I
though. I love him. I love that scene of him sort of proving himself to his. I mean, really, they kind of see Takuvma as a prophet. He's sort of the second coming of Kalis, if you will. And so, I love that idea of that physical proving of I am worthy to move on. And it's a very warrior way to do it, to do a physical kind of challenge like that.
Good thing he's got open fire, otherwise he'd have to like do something else.
Phaser to the foot, man.
Yeah, I'll just vaporize my foot off. I'll hubble around on the stump. But the Klingon houses being at war with each other, and that's nothing new. I mean, it happened all throughout TNG. It happened in DS9. Klingons don't get along
No.
great.
They don't get along with anyone great, which I feel like it really sets up everything.
And I think it's strange. Like, were there always 24 Klingon houses, or was that just something they decided to tack onto
No, I
this?
I thought that they talked about that. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. As much as I love Klingons, I don't know all the little minutia, and that some of my friends know. But I thought that that was actually a pretty standard thing.
I honestly can't remember it ever being mentioned, and I could totally be wrong. I don't remember the exact number of houses being mentioned before
Right.
Discovery. But Discovery could, I mean, there could be more Klingon houses later on as houses fracture as what's known to do in Klingon, and I almost kind of wonder if how related the House of Mokai and the House of Duras
Right.
is.
One of the things that did bother people that I guess didn't bother me as much as sort of the look of the Klingons. We really didn't. We saw a number of them through like holographic projections into Takuvma's ship, and
Like a
we see
dozen.
more later on, and they all kind of look the same. But actually, what I think is interesting is that their uniforms definitely vary from house to house. So it freaks me out a little bit less. People are like, oh, the uniforms are different, and all this is different, and that's different. And it's like, well, I mean, if you if you look at our own planet and you look at people here, and you look at people in the UK and people in China and people in, I mean, people in South America, like we look different. We have different noses and different eyes and different hair, and I mean, we look different, and so it doesn't make sense to me that an entire planet, even though we are all humans, it doesn't make sense to me that an entire planet of Klingons would all 100% look the same. Now, to be fair, up until this point, we have only been shown one kind of Klingon, via TNG and things like that, and so we have this
Hmm.
idea of what they are, what Klingons look like. But in the long run, it actually makes a little bit more sense to me that we would have some variance in the way that people look and the way that the Klingons look. So, and the same thing with the outfits and the uniforms. Our military uniforms look different from the military uniforms in China, and those look different from the military uniforms in Venezuela. And so, like we have these differences in our own on right here on Earth. So I'm always kind of surprised when it people are super angry about the fact that the Klingons might also have different countries or ways of looking from one hemisphere to the next and one continent to the next. So
Well, I agree with that, except for the fact that now the new look is the same look. Like nobody has hair, like nobody has facial
yeah,
hair. It's really disturbing. To me that's still bothering me. Like I can get around some other things a little bit, but why no
right,
hair? Hair is essential to the Klingon mythos and
yeah.
lore. They, I mean, Kahless cut his hair, the real Kahless, and this is why Takuvma should have lots of hair so he can go around making lots of batleths because Kahless stuck his hair into the lava and pulled out uh, the first
Right.
batleth. Like he invented the batleth with his hair and some lava. So I mean that's
Yeah,
amazing.
one of the things that I also thought was to me that I always thought was kind of funny about the Klingons and the fact that they've always up to this point had a lot of hair. Um, it reminds me in some respects of that idea of taunting. It's kind of a taunt, like because hair is a very easy thing to grab and hurt somebody in a fight, and so the fact that Klingons will wear long hair and wear it not necessarily even tethered back or anything like that up until this point is almost like a taunt. It reminds me just like and I said this. I kind of compared the sarcophagus ship to like the bells in the hair of the Dothraki in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same way. Like you grow your hair out and you add bells, and it's kind of a sign of being really fierce. And the same thing, like, you cover your ship in the sarcophagi of your dead who are now like out there to do battle once more in a way. I'm like, that's pretty badass. That's kind of scary
Absolutely.
as hell. Like, I feel like these Klingons, up until this point, like the Klingons have always kind of been the sort of annoying, like, troublemakers of the galaxy or the quadrant, or they've been these sort of militaristic, human looking people. um but but we never really, even the first time I met the Klingons in TOS, I was like, man, Kirk is like, he hates these guys. Like, he hates the Klingons with like the fiery passion of 10,000 white hot suns. And I'm kind of looking at him
Oh
like,
yeah.
what's the big deal? you know? And like the Klingons in Discovery, they are scary. They are like the nightmare story you tell under the, you tell your kids. It's like, don't go to sleep or the Klingons will get you, or don't be bad or the Klingons will get you. Like,
Absolutely.
these are the Klingons that are scary as hell. So yeah, I guess in the long run, from that first episode, like, I just was excited to see Klingons that really kind of scared the pants off me. Like, they're scary.
They are scary, and Takuma's Egyptian regalia is based off some art from the TMP movie, which is kind of interesting. And but Cole, he looks like he's wearing Legolas's clothes.
I do love his face paint though. I love that warrior blood face paint though.
Hey, that's good, but it's just weird. Like he's got like it's green and it's got all these like weird layers and some gold. It looks like Legolas or an elf out
Did
of
we
Lord of the
actually
Rings.
see
Like
him
it
though,
doesn't
in
scream
something other than a
Klingon.
hologram in that first episode? I know he comes.
Oh, again, everything would be green in the
That's
hologram,
true.
but it's still the same outfit. Like he wears the same
Right.
clothes the entire time, until he puts Philippa's pin on his
Right.
vest. I guess that is a slightly different costume.
See, now you're jumping ahead again.
So I know, but the Vulcan Hello. What is your take on the Vulcan Hello? Vulcan Hello.
What a cool idea. I love, I mean, that is the way Klingons respond to, Klingons respond to force. You, like, send a shot up their bow and they're going to take notice and be like, okay. you know and so I totally get it. It made perfect sense to me that that was sort of the Vulcans response after you know dealing with them on multiple occasions and suffering casualties. They're finally like, what do we need to do? What have we been doing? And leave it to the Vulcans to come up with the most logical response, like respond in kind and they'll back off. So I loved that. But yeah, it was really crazy. You meet Burnham, and she's this really fascinating mix of human and Vulcan. She's clearly allowed herself to start feeling, letting out a range of emotions now that she's surrounded by humans, and has, a captain in Philippa, who kind of allows her and wants her to let out her human side a little bit while still maintaining that logic. But watching her grapple with that decision and going to the extremes that she goes to make it happen is crazy.
It is crazy, and I feel like her logic should have prepared her better for negotiating with Philippa.
Yeah.
Like, it's not logical to question your commander in front of the entire bridge crew.
Right.
Like that entire conversation should have been
Yeah.
private. It shouldn't have been, Philippa flipping out on her saying, "Ready room now. We got to talk about this." It should have been, "Captain, can I see you in your ready room?" Saru, let us know if the Klingon ship does anything, but we need to
Right.
talk privately. Like it just seemed, you know, it just gave such a big red flag for everybody to like question her motives, especially when they come out of the ready room and the captain's not
Right.
there, and it's like,
Really?
are you really going with what the captain said? The captain seemed to hear what you said and not agree with any of it.
Pretty clear on her decision to say no.
Yeah, and I was really kind of taken back by that. I'm just like, it just like that's not logical to sit there and argue with your commander in front of everybody. That is not the place to do that. Especially if you're going to challenge her and take her away anyway. Like if you go in there and don't make a scene, and then you neck punch her and you come out, and no one's got any reason to question any of your orders,
I
like at
do like
all.
the fact that she learned the Vulcan neck pinch, though. I mean, that's pretty
Yeah, but I wonder, since Philippa got up so quick, I just wonder if she's not strong enough to really do it
right.
good to keep someone down. Because Philippa was up
Right.
really
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah. That was, I thought that was kind of funny too. It's like, oh, she's like, it's like a halfway.
The Vulcan half
Yeah.
pinch. All right, so that's our look back on episode one, the Vulcan Hello. What did you guys think? Put it in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you guys think about the first episode now that we've seen the first chapter of Star Trek Discovery. Please, if you like this video, please share it with your friends, like and subscribe. And Jen, where can we find you on the
Oh
social
my gosh,
media?
where am I not? You can find me at the Klingon at www.klingonpopwarrior.com. I'm on Facebook, Klingon Pop Warrior. I'm on Twitter at Klingon Pop. I am around.
And on YouTube, you can check out her video, HIchop.
HIchop.
HIchop. So thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.